Welcome to another episode of Millennial Investing Explained. Here's today's question. Let's dive into a little bit of a tactical conversation about creating a financial plan. Where is the best place for a millennial to start?
So, as a super old millennial myself, I'm on the older end of the millennial spectrum. I felt like I came into the workforce in 2007, and it didn't feel like there were that many tools available and that many resources available. Blogs were highly limited and usually, non-existent and non-reliable. But my big thing was, okay, I know I'm supposed to save money. Like, I know I'm supposed to save in my 401k, and so I'm going to try to max that out. And I know I'm supposed to put money away from emergencies. And I feel like that was the most important thing I did. And I did it from such a young age. Even when at a young age, maxing out my 401k was kind of a stretch. I didn't come out of school with a big salary. It was a big stretch. And so I remember getting on, I don't even know if this website exists anymore, but CNN had like a money tab and a personal finance tab. And I remember reading in that all of the time, every single day. And then there were some blogs like Get Rich Slowly and 5 Cent Nickel. And during the Great Recession, I was all over those and learning like different ways to save money in a creative fashion. But ultimately, by learning the profession and working with clients, I think is how I got most of my background. And obviously, some of the designations I have, the curriculum there drove that. But I think if you're a millennial just starting out, the most important thing you can do is if your company has a retirement account, I feel like that's always the place to start. And there'll be lots of people trying to sell you stuff, whether it's, investment advice and it's good nature, well-intended, or it's insurance or whatever, until you're putting away, as much as you can in those retirement accounts, you don't really need anybody to sell you stuff or give you advice. And now there's all these apps out there that help. So like I'm a chief investment officer of a platform called Bright Plan, which really focuses on corporate financial wellness, but it looks a lot like a Mint or a Betterment or a Personal Capital or something like that. And my goodness, there's so many good options now to help you make good financial decisions right out the gate.
Is there anywhere specific with a retirement account that somebody should start with?
Well, I think if you have a 401k account, that's usually the place to start. And that's largely because usually your employer is going to match your contribution. So if you're making $100,000 and they have a 3% match, well, you put 3% of your salary in and they're going to give you $3,000 of free money. And it's like the only place in the world where you're going to double your money instantly at no cost. And so that's a super important contribution. I'm just such a big believer, even though there are some plans that are bad, which is a little bit subjective and a little bit objective. Bad usually means like high cost or poor investment options. Your employer's retirement plan is usually the best place to start. The secondary place after that, I tend to think, is opening an online bank account and starting an emergency fund. So my online bank account, I think I've had it since 2008. And my checking account and my primary bank, it's more just like a train station where a paycheck comes in and all the money leaves. Some of it goes to the emergency fund, some of it goes to my automatic bill pay, some goes to my credit cards. Very little of it actually lives in my bank account. And part of the reason these online banking accounts are so useful is they pay so much more in interest because they aren't a brick and mortar bank and they don't have to do all the things that other banks do. And, I think those two steps, retirement fund and emergency fund, you can make a lot of financial mistakes in your life if you got those two things in place. Like those two things can really cover up a lot of bad choices throughout the rest of your life. And so if you can nail those, you're on a real great track.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much better than that 100% automatic instant ROI that you get. That's all for this episode of Millennial Investing Explained. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content.